What's going on, Jerome? What's going on, Poppies? We are back. Take a look at PFF's latest mock draft. Now, we like looking at a lot of mocks. We like looking at a lot of different analysts' mocks because it gives different perspective. Because I think the worst thing that can happen is that you get stuck in groupthink. It's like, oh, A is always A, B is always B, because the draft is the most subjective thing out there. And with potentially no combines, it's going to get weird. Also, a lot of players opted out, so it's going to get weird. So we're taking a look at our guy Seth Galina's mock. Now, I like Seth. PFF Seth is known to go out on a limb. Now, it's a big difference between just having a hot take just to have a hot take because it's easy. Trevor Lawrence is not going to be the number one overall pick. I'll hang up and listen. Now, but if you can actually back it up with sound logic and not being afraid to stand away from the pack and getting away from groupthink, I think that's really smart. And I respect Seth for going on those limbs because I'm a limb guy as well. So diving on in number one, Trevor Lawrence. Not really going on out on a limb there. Number two, so the Jets taking Justin Fields. And this could be a legit decision for Joe Douglas because remember, he didn't draft Sam Darnold, and maybe they go this route. They could easily auction it off to the highest bidder, a team that wants to get up here for either Zach Wilson or potentially Justin Fields. But, the Jets could just stick and pick and take Penny Sewell. It's just a really rough thing. But Mike LaFleur bringing a lot of Shanahan influences to that offense, him coming over Robert Saleh from San Francisco. So you can get your guy where Darnold had a couple years, hasn't really had a lot around him. It's whatever with Adam Gase, but this would be tempting. This would be tempting. And then trade Darnold for a couple of mid-round picks and recoup some of that value for him being the number 3 overall pick in 2018. But, man, this would really shake things up. Even though for a long time, basically all season, or basically the last 2 years, it's been Lawrence 1, Justin Fields 2. Just really interesting wrinkle with the Jets being at number 3. Dolphins shaking things up, taking Devontae Smith number 3. So undersized, sort of small frame wide receiver at 3, but you cannot deny his production. Frankly, for the past 4 seasons at Alabama, he knew he was going to be special when, as a true freshman, caught the game-winning touchdown in the national title game from fellow true freshman Tua Tagovailoa. But getting him back together in Miami. Now, are they sold on Tua long term? They kind of have to be now, wouldn't you think? Because as this draft plays out, as you're going to see, all 6 of the big six quarterbacks go in the first round, so they can't really circle back. They pass on a quarterback at 18. So, yeah, it's going to be that guy. And if you're going to rally around Tua, I think it's stupid to give up on him after 1 year. Give him the best chance possible, and getting him a true blue wide receiver 1 in Devontae Smith, absolutely get after it. For also, Devontae is going to go to the Senior Bowl, and he's going to be coached by Flores and the Dolphins. So this could lead to him going at 3. 4, so the Falcons taking Micah Parsons. I get it. It is a little weird, off-ball linebacker going in the top 10, let alone the top 5. But, you're going to pass on the quarterback here. You're going to have a new GM, Arthur Smith. Is he sold on Matt Ryan? He is going to be 36. He's got that big contract. But I don't know. You have an offensive-minded head coach, and you're going to pass on Jamar Chase. You're going to pass on a quarterback, Zach Wilson or Trey Lance, whoever you want. I don't know. And like the Jets, maybe just take Penny Sewell, even though you do have a decent tackle bookends with Matthews and McGarry. Just take Penny Sewell, kick McGarry into guard where you probably should be anyway. But yeah, this could be a pick where, Parsons is a physical freak and he could turn out to be an extremely solid player. Like he could be like a more athletic Luke Kuechly, but this might be one of those if Jamar Chase blows up or one of the quarterbacks who go after blows up and they're stuck with quarterback purgatory. After Matt Ryan, I don't know. 5 Bengals, so Penny Sewell. Yeah, protect the Burrow no matter what. If Penny Sewell wasn't on board, say he went earlier, like 4 to the Falcons, this would be a decision then. Do you go Pitts? Do you go Jamar Chase? I would go Jamar Chase, just reuniting him with Joe Burrow. But 6, the Eagles, they're not passing on an LSU wide receiver again. I don't buy that they'll be in the market for a quarterback. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy. By the way, the Eagles' job is stupid. It is a garbage position. You inherit Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts has upside, but are you really sold on him? But I think that Hurts is going to be the guy. I think they'll trade Wentz's ass out of there. 7, so here's where it gets spicy. So the Lions with Zach Wilson on the board, with Trey Lance on the board, just go Christian Barmore. All right, now, Seth talks it out. Brad Holmes coming from the Rams organization, talking about Aaron Donald, just trying to find the next guy. Christian Barmore, he is raw. He is, what's the word? He hasn't gotten a lot of, he's only had like 900 snaps. Like, he's only really played about a year and a half as a redshirt sophomore. So this is a big leap of faith. Like, this is a big gamble. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Barmore doesn't go in the top 20. Or hell, he might not even go in the first round altogether. But on the heels of how he played against Notre Dame and against Ohio State in the national title game. Plus, he would be a pretty popular pick in Michigan, the way that he destroyed Ohio State. So I would get it. But, man, passing on quarterbacks, like, this is a much bigger gamble than even the Falcons passing on a quarterback at 4. 8, Panthers, no chance for Trey Lance. So they had their choice of Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. They saw Zach Wilson in their backyard when he sort of had a meh game against Coastal Carolina, go Chanticleers. But no chance for Trey Lance. Now Teddy can be that bridge quarterback to Trey Lance. The physical upside is absolutely there. A big jump in competition as from FCS. Yes, FCS powerhouse to the NFL. But also, I mean, the fact that he only really played one season. He did play one game in 2020, but I love Trey Lance. The pride of Marshall, Minnesota, getting it done. Also, so you got Christian McCaffrey. You got those receivers. Joe Brady probably is going to stick around for another year. I mean, yeah. 9, Broncos. So, man, George Payton passes on Zach Wilson here. I'm a local-ish kid over in Utah playing at BYU. I think if you have a chance to take a potential franchise quarterback, especially one that easily could go top 3, and he falls to 9, I don't think you pass on it. Even though Patrick Surtain, respect, is a phenomenal cornerback prospect, and the Broncos are going to need that with A.J. Bowie probably being gone after his suspension. So, I don't know. 10, Cowboys, Caleb Farley, best coverage cornerback in this draft. Yes, no brainer. 11, Giants. So it would have been nice if Devontae would have fell here, but they'll take the next best thing. And frankly, it wouldn't shock me if Jalen Waddle is still drafted ahead of Devontae Smith. Like, if he doesn't go 3 to the Dolphins, which, I mean, that makes a ton of sense, especially given the Senior Bowl news. But I think teams could just see Waddle's straight line speed, which, whatever the combine is going to be this year, he could threaten the 40-yard dash record. He really could. But just imagine Tyreek Hill as a better route runner and less baggage. That's Jalen Waddle, baby. 12. So, again, this is gross. The Niners end up with Zach Wilson. Wilson with Shanahan. I hate it. It sucks. It sucks because now the Vikings have to contend with Zach Wilson and the Niners for the next decade plus. So, it sucks. It does. 13, Chargers. Yeah, offensive line makes sense. Even though we've seen some mocks where they go defensive back, sure. I mean, their 2 corners are going to be 31 or 32 next year. But offensive line, no matter what. Trey Pipkins definitely not working out. As well as guys like Dan Feeney and Forrest Lamp. Guys that we really liked in the draft. Not so much. It happens. You can't hit them all. But Rashawn Slater coming out of Northwestern. He opted out in 2020. But he can play tackle. He can play inside. He's even been working in at center. I think that's a rock solid pick. 14. Of course, the Vikings go Gregory Rousseau. Now, the Vikings... there's still a lot of talent on the board here. I mean, so if Zach Wilson got out of the top 10, that would be really tempting to trade up because, I mean, hell, if Zach Wilson got to 9 and the Broncos weren't going to take him, Spielman should get George Payton on the phone and be like, hey, we're coming up 5 spots. I don't care what you have to say. Click. Go get your guy at that spot. But, I mean, Wilson potentially would have been in a trade-up spot. But at this spot, you have Pitts, you have Kwity Paye, you have Christian Darrisaw, you have Mac Jones. Again, this could be a prime trade-down spot because you're right ahead of the Patriots at 15, who are really dialed in on quarterback in all likelihood. So if a team really wants to come up, potentially the Steelers, potentially the Colts, teams, especially in the AFC, who have to contend with the stupid Patriots and do have a need at quarterback, they're like, oh, yeah. But Rousseau here, we've talked about it where I like it. I'm not in love with it. I think that Rousseau has a lot of potential, but there's a lot of ironing out that has to happen. And if you're looking for a high-end rotational guy, is that all that he's going to be? Does he really have a true position in the Zimmer defense? I don't know. Make one. But yeah, if they just go Rousseau here at 14, again, I get it. But there's a couple more intriguing options on board. Like, I would go Darrisaw. I would go Kwity Paye. Hell, I might even go Kyle Pitts. Hey, we're just going to score 50 and outscore everyone. Yeah. So 15, of course, Patriots, Mac Jones makes a lot of sense. Him being a distributor, as he was in Alabama, that's all he needs to be in New England to start. So now, get some better weapons. Jacoby Myers, that's really about it. 16, the Cardinals getting Kyle Pitts. This is gross. Man. So you get Kyle Pitts with Kyler, who I still believe in, with Cliff Kingsbury, and Christian Kirk, whatever he still has on his rookie deal, and then also Nuke. That's gross. Just gross. 17, the Raiders finally get some edge help in Kwity Paye, and this sucks. How does Kwity Paye fall all the way down to the Raiders? Like him and baby Jared Allen just getting after it. I don't like it. Max Crosby for the win. 18, Dolphins, Jason Oweh taking a gamble here. Now, this is not the Deion Jordan spot, but it's not the Deion Jordan spot where you have this absolute physical freak athlete, a guy that you could mold on the edge. But college production, But again, a big difference between trading all the way up to 3 for Deion Jordan and then just taking a guy at 18, especially after you do have a solid pick in Devontae Smith in the on the draft in the house already. So Jason Oweh, make him a stand-up outside linebacker, and Flores is 3-4, and then just get after it. 19. So football team could have been one of those teams looking to trade up to 14 to leapfrog the Patriots for Mac Jones, but getting Christian Darrisaw, keeping him relatively in state. They finally have a Trent Williams replacement. I like it. 20, the Bears going Chris Olave. Woo! So you're going to lose Allen Robinson in free agency. Olave and Mooney, whoever the hell the quarterback's going to be, that's a nice little duo there. 21, Ooh, spicy. That's muy caliente. So 21, Colts taking Brady Christensen out of BYU. Now, extremely highly rated by PFF. I get it. But also, Christensen, you question the caliber of competition, even though he did a phenomenal job keeping Zach Wilson clean. I actually don't think he allowed a sack. Like, maybe he allowed like 3 pressures, something like that. He had like a 96 PFF grade. It was a very deep blue. But him replacing Anthony Costanzo, who just retired, makes sense there. 22. So the Titans taking J.C. Horn. I understand that Christian Fulton was sort of this year, but would rather see edge in this spot unless they do plan on re-signing Jadeveon Clowney, who was bad to begin with. So, yeah. But yeah, they are probably going to lose Malcolm Butler in free agency. They're probably going to cut him too. 23. So the Jets taking Rashad Bateman. So Justin Fields at 2, and then he gets a wide receiver 1. So you got Bateman, wide receiver 1. Denzel Mims is damn solid. You got the leftovers of Jamison Crowder. That's a nice little trio. That's a nice little trio for Justin Fields as he gets his feet wet in Gotham. 24, Steelers, Kyle Trask. Now, this is definitely a reach. But also, the Steelers might be desperate. So I think Big Ben is going to leave them out to dry. I think that he's probably going to retire, but he's going to take his sweet-ass time. And the Steelers are sort of stuck at 24. And that's what happens. Like when you're a fraudulent 11-0 team, you finish 1-5. So they're out of the range of the Big 5 quarterbacks. They would have loved Mac Jones. So they would have made sense if they would try to leapfrog from 24 up to 14 to get ahead of the Patriots. But why take Kyle Trask? You already have one in Mason Rudolph. They're basically the same guy. 25. So the Jaguars got Trevor Lawrence at 1, picking Kadarius Toney from Florida at 25. Now, I get it. Florida, Urban Meyer. But, receiver is one of the best positions for the Jaguars. Like they got DJ Chark, they got Colin Johnson, the rookie from Texas. Maybe D.D. Westbrook is back. Maybe Connolly is back. They're both free agents. And also, you kind of have a Kadarius Toney and Laviska Shenault, the second-round pick out of Colorado. Now, I understand, new regime, they didn't pick those guys, and Toney is damn legit, both as a receiver, running back, as well as a return guy. He really is like a modern-day Percy Harvin, but I'd rather go offensive line, especially since Cam Robinson's probably going to leave in free agency, and then Jawan Taylor's been, 26. So the Browns going Trevon Moehrig, first safety off the board. Pride at TCU. Now, Moehrig, Darius Washington, I really enjoy. They definitely pop off tape when you're watching Jeff Gladney. But, the Browns in this spot, rather go edge. Sure, maybe wide receiver if they don't bring OBJ back. They're not trading for Adam Thielen, damn straight. But Moehrig, that safety, it was really patchwork. So they're counting on Grant Delpit, the second-round pick out of LSU, but he popped his Achilles before the season started. And they were rolling with, Carl Joseph, and Sendejo was playing big snaps back there. So I get it. It does make sense. And Moehrig and Delpit together, it's a nice little duo. Stylistically, though, both better as free safeties, but they'll play split safeties. It's fine. 27. So the Ravens picking up Wyatt Davis no matter what. So injury, yes. They're basically going to have to redshirt him. I wouldn't be shocked if he starts the year on the pup if he does declare. But the Ravens do need to do some rebuilding from the inside of that offensive line, especially if Skura leaves as a free agent. They never really replaced on the interior offensive line. It's been rough. 28. New Orleans Saints picking up Nick Bolton, linebacker, Mizzou. So Bolton is the second linebacker off the board after Micah Parsons. Now, I mean, Bolton is a stud. I love him, but over JOK, over Zaven, I get it's more of a different strokes for different folks stylistically. I mean, Joke is more of a coverage linebacker. Zaven more of a strong side guy, but I like this pick. I think that linebacker to the Saints makes a lot of sense. Demario Davis can't play forever. Quan Alexander got hurt and is on a big contract, so they may cut him. So I get they missed out on all 6 of the quarterbacks. Drew Brees is asked retiring. They have like $34 million dead. They might have to re-sign Jameis. So okay. 29. So the Bucs picking up Azeez Ujulari. Love him coming out of Georgia. Makes a lot of sense, especially if Shaq Barrett is probably going to leave in free agency. Put Azeez opposite of JPP. Now, Azeez as a stand-up, yeah, I'm in. 30. Bills pick up Carlos Basham out of Wake Forest. Now, I do like this one, even though they did draft AJ Epinesa out of Iowa last year. You can never have enough pass rushers. Plus, Basham is a guy a little bit larger. He's about 290 pounds. He's a guy who can definitely set the edge and not be a liability in the run game as well. Like, do you want to say that he's sort of built like Bruce Smith, the pride of Virginia Tech? Maybe not going that far, but even though Jerry Hughes has been doing great things on the edge, he is going to be 32 next year, I want to say. He's a little bit older. 31, so the Packers, Rondale Moore. This sucks. I hate it. 32, well, it's a great pick. That's why I hate it, because it's stupid Packers. 32, Jalen Phillips, put him opposite of Frank Clark. Tano Pasano's on his way out, so makes a ton of sense there. So that's it. Let's take a look at PFF Seth Galina's mock draft. A couple of guys left on the board. Alex Leatherwood didn't go. Davion Nixon didn't go. In fact, only one defensive tackle went. That was Christian Barmore. Then you got Tyson Campbell, Sean Wade, and in the cornerback room, Darion Kendrick. A lot of people are projecting as a first-round pick. Sam Cosmi is still on board, the physical freak from Texas. PFF darling as well. I mean, Brady Christensen goes before Cosmi. Woo! Wow. Also, Joke is still on board. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Zaven Collins still on board. I would make a move for Zaven Collins. I really like Zaven Collins, man. It's here. Asai's on board. Both the running backs, Etienne as well as Najee Harris, still there. I prefer Etienne if you're going to go with the running back. Terrace Marshall wasn't taken. Wow. Dylan Moses, Jevon Holland. Again, only one safety, Morig taken. So, I mean, there's still a ton of talent. In most drafts, like the top end of the second round is where you find a ton of value. Guys who fell out of the first round, contracts a little cheaper. Yes, no fifth-year option, except that's not really an advantage for teams anymore since they are fully guaranteed and can escalate due to Pro Bowls and accolades and whatnot. But yeah, overall, if the Vikings go Rousseau at 14, again, I get it. I fully understand it, but man, there's a lot of talent left on that board. There's a lot of talent on the board. Like, a lot of talented dudes are going to go from 20 to 50 in this draft. So, I mean, Vikings should get back into that second round. But overall, your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.